Asterisk. What would you do if the home your father left you, the place filled with childhood memories, was suddenly threatened by a complete stranger? For me, it started on what should have been a peaceful summer afternoon by the lake. I had invited a few close friends to spend the weekend at my family's old cabin. The water was calm, the air smelled like pine, and for the first time in years, I felt at peace. But that peace didn't last long. Out of nowhere, a woman marched straight up to my dock, hands on her hips, and started yelling at my guests to leave the lake immediately. She claimed this was HOA property and that we were trespassing. The audacity left me speechless until I remembered something my dad used to say: "This land is ours. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise." So I looked her straight in the eye and said words she never expected to hear. "This is my private land." What happened after that? You're not going to believe. Asterisk. The summer sun shimmered over the calm lake as I pulled into the driveway of my father's old cabin. It had been years since I last set foot here. After Dad passed away, I just couldn't bring myself to return. Every memory felt too heavy, too raw. But today was different. It was the anniversary of his passing, and I wanted to honor him. My cousins, Ellie and Mark, came along to keep me company. They were already out on the water, blasting music from a Bluetooth speaker and laughing as they rowed the boat across the lake. I stepped onto the wooden deck. The boards creaked, worn but still strong, just like I remembered. Inside, I found Dad's old leather-bound journal sitting on a dusty shelf. The first page hit me like a punch in the gut. This cabin isn't just a building. It carries our family's soul. One day, someone will try to take it from you. Don't ever let that happen. Tears welled up in my eyes. It was as if he knew this day would come. I sat on the porch, clutching the journal, when a sharp, piercing voice shattered the peace. "Excuse me, who gave you permission to bring guests here?" I turned around. A short woman in oversized sunglasses and a stiff blazer marched toward me. Her platinum bob haircut and tight-lipped smile screamed one word: Karen. "This is private land," I said firmly. Karen scoffed. "Private? Honey, this is an HOA community. The lake belongs to the residents. And as president of the association, I'm telling you, strangers aren't allowed." Mark shouted from the boat. "This is her cabin." Karen waved him off like he was a fly. "Don't talk back. If you don't pack up and leave, I'll call the sheriff." I always win these battles. Anger rose in my chest, but underneath it was pain. This cabin held every memory of my dad. Fishing lessons, bonfires, his laughter echoing across the water. And now a stranger stood here, telling me I didn't belong. I steadied my voice. This was my father's land. He left it to me. You can't take it from us. Karen smirked, adjusting her sunglasses. "Then prove it." Her words echoed in my head long after she stormed off. Dad's journal page flashed before my eyes. "One day, someone will try to take it from you." He had been right all along. The next morning, as I sipped coffee on the porch, a white SUV pulled into the driveway. Karen stepped out, clutching a folder like it was a weapon. "Here," she said, shoving papers at me. "According to HOA bylaws, non-members cannot host gatherings on the lake. Yesterday's little party? That's a violation. You're looking at a $5,000 fine." My jaw dropped. This cabin was here long before your HOA ever existed. Karen shrugged, lips curled into a smug smile. "Doesn't matter. If you live here, you follow our rules." Ellie stood behind me, arms crossed. "You can't bully her. She owns this land." Karen's eyes narrowed into slits. "We'll see what the county says. Around here, emotions don't matter. Paperwork does." She stormed off, leaving a trail of threats in her wake. Later that afternoon, I climbed up into the cabin's attic. Dust swirled in the air as I opened old boxes filled with Dad's belongings. That's when I found it. A small tin box sealed tight. Inside was an envelope labeled, "For my daughter, when the lake turns against you." My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was the original deed, proving the cabin and the surrounding lakefront were my father's property long before the HOA was even created. Tucked beside it was a handwritten note. "If anyone tries to take this place from you, remember, truth is on your side. But know this, there's more to this cabin than you realize." I froze. Dad had seen this coming. He left me everything I needed to fight back. But what did he mean by more to this cabin? Karen didn't give up. The following day, she returned, this time with 2 HOA board members in tow. "We're filing an injunction," she announced smugly. "Until you prove ownership in court, you're banned from using the lake." I pulled out a copy of the deed and held it up. Karen's face drained of color. This can't be right," she stammered. "The HOA owns the lake." "No," I said, my voice steady. "This land, including the lakefront, was deeded to my father 30 years ago. You have no claim here." The board members exchanged awkward glances. Karen's face twisted in anger. "Fine. Then we'll let the court decide." That night, sleep wouldn't come. I found myself back in the attic, flashlight in hand. Digging through a stack of photo albums, I stumbled upon a picture I had never seen before. Dad standing next to an unfamiliar man. Between them lay a blueprint of the lake. Scrawled underneath were 3 words. "Promise kept. Forever." I stared at the photo, chills crawling on my spine. Who was the man? And what promise had Dad kept? I had always thought the cabin was just a retreat. But the deeper I dug, the more I realized it was also hiding secrets. The next day, Karen arrived with the county sheriff in tow. She pointed at me with all the fury she could muster. "These people are trespassers. Arrest them." The sheriff took the deed from my hands and examined it carefully. After a long pause, he looked up at Karen. "Ma'am, this deed is legitimate. This is private property. If you set foot here again without permission, you'll be trespassing." Karen's jaw dropped. For the first time, she had no words. She froze, humiliated, before spinning on her heel and storming back to her SUV. But before leaving, she leaned close to me and hissed, "This isn't over." That night, unable to shake her threat, I examined the strange photograph again. My flashlight revealed faint lines drawn on the blueprint, lines pointing to a tunnel beneath the cabin. With Ellie at my side, we pulled up a loose floorboard in the living room and found a hidden trapdoor. Beneath it, a narrow staircase led to a dark underground chamber. At the bottom sat an old wooden chest. Inside, wrapped in oilskin, was another letter from Dad. "If you're here, it means Karen and her kind have come for what's not theirs. The HOA wanted to buy this lake for commercial development. I stopped them. This land is more than water. It's our family's legacy. Protect it." I realized then this was never just about rules or fines. Karen wanted the lake for profit, and my father had fought to keep it safe. The following morning, Karen returned yet again, this time with a real estate agent in tow. She slammed a stack of contracts onto my deck. "We're buying this land," she declared. "Sign the papers or prepare for years of lawsuits. You can't win." I opened the chest and pulled out the original deed, along with Dad's letters. I handed them to the sheriff, who had returned after hearing Karen was back at it. He read the papers, then shook his head. "Karen, you're done. The county records back this up. This property is off limits to the HOA. Permanently." For once, Karen had no comeback. Her face went pale. She froze, staring at me like she couldn't believe she had lost. Without another word, she gathered her papers and stormed off, the real estate agent trailing behind her in embarrassment. As silence settled over the lake, I stood on the deck, staring at the water that had carried so many of my childhood memories. I could almost hear Dad's voice in the wind. "Never let anyone take away what belongs to you." Ellie wrapped her arm around me. "You did it. You protected his legacy." Tears filled my eyes. "No, we did it. And now, this lake will stay exactly the way he wanted." The cabin wasn't just a building anymore. It was a promise kept, a fight won, and a legacy that would live on long after me. And no HOA, Karen, would ever take that away. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more suspenseful stories. Tell us in the comments what you would have done in this situation, and make sure to subscribe for more. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this video with friends who love emotional stories with a twist. Subscribe now and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our next story. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and share if you believe in standing up for what's right.